Hello paddlers and welcome back to Padel Smash TV News, your weekly home for everything happening in the world of paddle.
This week we're fully loaded from wall to wall of paddle news, from global growth, new markets, business moves, and big moments on and off the court.
From billion-dollar projections to injuries, new tournaments, and even some lighter moments. Paddle is moving fast right now.
Let's get right into it.
New projections estimate that paddle could become a $7 billion global industry by 2026. Now, that number includes everything: clubs, infrastructure, sponsorships, media rights, and participation worldwide. And what's important here, this isn't just speculation. This is growth already happening in multiple regions at the same time. We're seeing new clubs opening up every week, more tournaments being added, and more brands entering the space. When a sport reaches this level financially, it becomes more professional, more structured, and more competitive. So this isn't just a milestone. It's a signal that paddle is entering a completely different phase globally.
One of the clearest examples of that growth is happening in the UK, where paddle now is approaching 1 million players. That's a huge number, especially considering how quickly paddle has grown there in just a few years. And it's not just about participation, it's about infrastructure, which is expanding really fast, with more clubs and courts being built across the UK every single month. This matters because long-term success in any sport comes from the base, from the bottom up. The more people playing, the stronger the ecosystem becomes. And right now, the UK is proving that paddle can grow rapidly outside its traditional strongholds like Spain and Argentina.
Looking at the global map, Asia and Middle East are becoming some of the most important regions for paddle's future. These areas are bringing serious investment into the sport. And what's interesting is how quickly things are being built. High-end clubs, premium facilities, and strong backing from both private investors and institutions. This kind of growth is different. It's fast, it's well-funded, and it's very strategic. If this continues, these regions could become major hubs for paddle in the next few years.
In Scotland, football club Ayr United has opened a new training facility that includes paddle courts. This might seem like a small story, but it actually says a lot where the sport is going. When traditional sports organizations start integrating paddle into their infrastructure, it shows that they see the long-term value in paddle. And it also brings paddle to new audiences, fans who might not have discovered the sport otherwise. And this kind of crossover is key for mainstream growth.
In India, the sport is taking another step forward with the launch of a women's-only paddle tournament in Mumbai. This is important because emerging markets don't just need events, they need structure. And creating dedicated tournaments for women help build a stronger and more inclusive competitive environment. It also encourages participation at the grassroots level, which is essential for long-term development. India is still early in its paddle journey, but moves like this show real intent to grow the sport properly.
One of the toughest moments for paddle came this week at the Miami Premier Tournament, where Campagnolo went down with a serious knee injury during his third set match facing Momo Gonzalez and Martin Dineno. It was already an intense and competitive match, but everything changed when he was forced to stop. You could see right away the concern from players, teammates, and fans. Injuries like this are always very, very difficult, especially for players competing at the highest level. We're still waiting for a full confirmation and updates, but this could have a significant impact on Campagnolo's season moving forward.
Back in the US, new paddle clubs are opening in Utah, Paddle Den and Paddle Park, with the goal of building a strong local community. This reflects a broader trend we're seeing across the country: more entrepreneurs investing in paddle facilities and growing the sport from the ground up. And this is key because without strong local communities, it's very hard for sport to truly establish itself. So while this might seem like a local story, it's actually part of a much bigger national movement.
And staying in the US, many industry experts are saying that the business of paddle is just getting started. We're now seeing growth across multiple areas: clubs, leagues, tournaments, and even digital platforms connected to the sport. There is a full ecosystem being built right now, and it's happening really fast. If this continues, the US could become one of the most important markets globally, not just for playing, but for the business of paddle as well.
On the sponsorship side, Premier Padel has secured Whoop as a global partner. This is another major brand entry in the sport. And that matters because sponsorships are a strong indicator of where the market is going. Companies don't invest at the level unless they see long-term value. And deals like this help elevate the sport, improve visibility, and bring back paddle to a wider audience.
Looking ahead, the Anglo-American Padel Cup is set to return in 2027, and this time right here in South Florida, at the Replay Club in Boynton Beach. Think Riders' Cup, but for paddle. Nations competing, flags flying, national pride on the line, and a complete different kind of energy on the paddle court. Events like this are very important because they add a variety to the paddle calendar and give fans and players something new to engage with.
World number one Delphi Brea has signed a sponsorship deal with Berry World. This shows how top players are becoming valuable brand ambassadors, not just athletes. And as paddle grows, we'd likely see more players building personal brands and attracting major partnerships.
One of the most debated rules in paddle continues to spark discussion. Here's a rule that keeps coming up. What happens when a ball falls out of your pocket midpoint? The official answer is straightforward. It's a let. Point stops, point replay, but the conversation doesn't stop there. The real issue here is timing. Who makes the call? And when do they make the call? Because in a tie match, at a critical moment, that decision stops the whole point. And when it happens, at the wrong time, or maybe at the right time, depending on which side of the court you're on, that's when things get ugly and generates big conversations in between opponents.
Carlos Alcaraz made an appearance at the Premier Padel Miami event, showing support and even hitting a few shots. Moments like this are great for the sport because they connect paddle with the tennis world and bring in a new audience.
From the football pitch to the paddle court, Carlos Tevez, football icon, world champion, and now paddle club owner, has opened his own paddle club in Argentina. And for those who don't know football, Carlos Tevez played for some of the biggest clubs in the world: Boca Juniors, Manchester United, Manchester City, and Juventus. This is another big-name football player entering the sport, and another sign how attractive paddle has become globally, and especially for global sports celebrities.
And finally, in a lighter moment, Galan pranked poor Chingoto by telling him Messi wanted to play with him. And for a moment, he actually believed it.
So says, yesterday the Miami premiere ended up. What are your thoughts about it?
Wow, it was amazing. But there's a lot to talk about. There was a lot of injuries, right? So let's talk about that first. So one of the biggest ones that I saw was Gonzo, who went for a ball, fell, hit his head on the glass, and a huge scar here. I mean, that was big. And he continued the game, and they ended up winning.
Yes.
And then, who was the other one? Campagnolo, he also injured his knee.
Yeah,
was a big one.
he ran for a lob, jump, landed on the wrong foot. He was out right there at that moment. Good news, the news came out today. He has only some, tear on the meniscus, so he will be okay. It won't be, they're not tendons or anything like that, or ligaments. So hopefully he will be back soon.
I gotta say, the semis and finals were amazing. These games were just incredible. I was there at the semis, and each game was unbelievable.
Yes.
Bea and Paula were able to, to move forward from there. You had, these amazing games, three set games. I mean, it was just incredible. The finals was also amazing as well. As you know, that Bea and Paula have been kind of struggling to kind of connect. And I feel like they just connected in this tournament, and it showed.
Let's go back to the semifinals, because we watched it, and first of all, I see LeBron and Augsburger, a very solid, dangerous couple to beat.
They are. You know what I mean? They are, and I see LeBron having patience, but at the at the end, and some of in this tournament, I saw him starting to lose a little bit of patience.
Yes.
You know, so how long can LeBron hold his tongue for? You know, that's
And the funny part is when they put her on the microphone on the chairs on the switching sides. At one moment on the third set, LeBron was complaining that Augsburger didn't want to win this match because he wasn't putting the 100%. That was his perspective.
And you saw, and that energy didn't help him because I mean you could see in that game, you saw him play amazing, you know, in certain sets, and then all of a sudden just, I mean the mistakes were just like where's this guy's mind?
Yes, but let's give some credit also to Tapia and Coelho. They're so mentally strong. You know what I mean? They lost the first set.
Yeah.
And they made a switch. I mean, LeBron and Augsburger, they play incredible in the semifinals on the first set. And then for Tapia and Coelho, something click and they bring it up one or two more gears.
I think it was partially that, but it was also partially the energy that LeBron was giving.
Probably.
You know, Augsburger. Augsburger's a younger player. You know, LeBron has an experienced player. He needs to focus on motivating this young kid, because when you do that, oh my God, you get amazing battle.
Yeah.
And you could see it. But if you don't and you channel some negative energy to him, it's just gonna affect his game.
The problem is sometimes the game is bigger than LeBron, so at the end of the day, it's he wants to win so badly that he puts the blame on his partner. And the same thing happened with Galan back in the day and everyone else.
I think LeBron, just his expectations are so high. You know, he wants to win. He has passion, but even if you have passion, you still have to know and learn how to motivate people. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you have a team. And I think that's where they have to kind of learn how to, because if not, LeBron's going to go through so many players. And I think one of the main reasons Galan stayed with him is because they were number one for a while.
Yeah.
But as soon as they're not number one, why does he have to put up with that you know?
So now
energy.
Let's move to the finals. The finals, what a match.
Wow.
I thought, you know, Coelho, Tapia, they were going to run with it.
I got to give it to Chingoto.
Chingoto. But Chingalan on the first set, they played incredible. Then they went somewhere else. I mean,
something happened, man.
They went down 5-0 within 5 minutes.
But you know what? Coelho and Tapia were playing. They're on their game on that second.
I know, but let's give credit to Chingalan because they win the first set. They just go into cloud nine. They go up. They go down. Lob 5. I mean 0-5 within 5 minutes. I looked it up. I go to the bathroom, came back, was like, what happened here? They lose. You know, then they get off one break and they lose 6-3. Yeah. But the third set, on the Chingalans, something clicked, and they brought up that game to them. And I thought Tapia and Coelho, they were going to pull it off. But let me tell you, man, Chingoto,
wow,
what a player!
He was on
fire.
He was on fire in this tournament.
Oh my
on
God!
On fire!
Incredible.
He would get every single ball. His speed at the net. I mean, it's incredible, man. And them two really connect well together, man. They're a great team, Galan and Chingoto.
He has that running back vibra to the screen. Yeah. It is such a difficult shot to master and to do, and he does it like it's a walk in the park.
He's like a machine.
Yes.
Like you go to net volley, now you're running back, you got a vibra, back and forth 3, 4, 5 times. That's a strategy that a lot of defense players will do to get you tired of forcing error, but he just doesn't make an error.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a machine.
Yeah.
Amazing game. And I'm really happy also for Bea and Paolo, man.
Well, let's talk about that final because another 3-setter there, 7-5 on the fifth. I thought they were going to lose. Delphi and Gemma, they were serving on the third set 5-4. Delphi serving 5-4. You know, and I thought that's it. This is the end. And they pull it off. They came back. And Delphi and Gemma, they lost 3 straight games.
Yeah.
3 straight games.
In the last point?
In the last point, it was incredible.
Right to the net.
Yes.
You know, but I just couldn't believe it. I mean, maybe it was a mental thing. I don't know. But I got to say that, you know, Paolo was playing incredible. I mean, I saw that connection. I mean, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with, you know, this year.
And Bea has such a great energy. And the way she moves, her technique, her intensity, you can sense it.
So
you
does
can
Paula.
feel it.
Paula is like,
Yes.
you feel this energy of
Yeah.
like, I mean, you want to root for her. She kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of the Chingoto, that
Yeah.
type of feeling, you know what I'm saying?
That's your week in paddle, a sport expanding on every front, driven by big names, bigger money, and a global momentum that shows no signs of slowing down.
Paddle's evolving on every level right now, and it feels like we're just getting started.
Which story are you following most? The global growth, the Campagnolo injury, the Chingalan victory, or the expansion into new markets?
Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.
See you next time on Padel Smash TV.